The Battle of Pharsalus took place in the year 48 BC. It was one of many battles between Julius Caesar and his former friend Pompey, as both aimed for control of the Roman Empire. After a number of encounters, Caesar had control over many large territories, and after he had conquered most of Italy, Pompey and his allies fled to Greece. Caesar's army followed, and eventually both sides met close to the Greek town of Pharsalus. Pompey's army consisted of about 45,000 soldiers. His Syrian legions made up the centre, and on the left flank he put his 7,000 cavalry along with his archers and slingers. His formation consisted of 3 lines, and due to his numerical advantage, Pompey was able to make each line stronger than Caesar's. Caesar had around 22,000 soldiers. He also used a 3-line formation. Caesar's cavalry and slingers were positioned on the right, opposite Pompey's. Seeing the opposition's stronger cavalry, Caesar guessed that Pompey would attempt to encircle his army. So he took a number of his best soldiers and formed a 4th line positioned diagonally behind his cavalry. The soldiers in the 4th line were instructed not to advance until Caesar gave the signal. The battle started when 2 lines of Caesar's army began advancing quickly towards Pompey's forces. Pompey had ordered his soldiers not to move, letting the opposition exhaust themselves before reaching his front line. Caesar's men realised this and stopped mid-advance. After a short break to rest and regroup, they continued the attack. When they got nearer, Caesar's men threw their javelins at Pompey's forces and followed this by attacking with swords. Pompey's line remained unbroken, and he now ordered his cavalry and slingers to start their attack. Caesar's cavalry was outnumbered and were no match for Pompey's much stronger force. After resisting for a while, Caesar's cavalry began to split and fled the field. Caesar's flank was now exposed, and as Pompey's men were regrouping to launch their attack, Caesar gave the signal and his 4th line emerged, charging at Pompey's cavalry with their javelins being used like spears and jabbing at the face of the horsemen. The surprise and ferocity of this attack caused such panic and disorder that the cavalry retreated. Pompey's slingers and archers were now exposed, and with no support were slaughtered by Caesar's 4th line, which had now also been joined by some of the previously fled cavalry. The 4th line were now able to begin attacking the exposed left flank of Pompey's infantry, and others attacked from behind. Caesar had one further advantage to be utilised. His 3rd line had been held in reserve, and he now deployed them into the attack. Being attacked at the rear and facing new, unfatigued soldiers at the front, Pompey's exhausted left flank began to flee. Although the centre continued to fight on, it slowly began to break too. Seeing the collapse of his forces, Pompey retreated from the battlefield. With Pompey's departure and his forces in disarray, the rest were either killed, captured, or ran away. At the end of the battle, Caesar's forces had lost about 200 soldiers, but Pompey had suffered losses of over 15,000. This was a victory for Caesar. After this defeat, Pompey fled to Egypt, where he planned to raise another army, but he was assassinated a few weeks later. His decapitated head was presented to Caesar, who was upset that his friend had met such a dishonourable death. There were further battles in Spain and North Africa before the Roman Civil War came to an end and Caesar was declared dictator.